About 90% of Africa's top objects and artifacts that date back to 100 years on average are not on the continent. It is estimated that Belgium alone has more than 100,000 African pieces, while France comes second with close to 90,000 African objects, with Kenya having 32,000 of its ancient objects outside the country.
Dolphins is closer to us, but 1.9 million years old.
Director of Antiques and Sites of the National Museum of Kenya, Dr. Frederick Manthe, says that if the artifacts are returned in Kenya, the number of tourists looking for them will gradually increase, raising enough revenue to build state-of-the-art facilities and train more curators and handlers, and also improve the economy.
Karendusi really documents the time slice between 1 million years ago into around 500 million years ago, and that's a key time slice. And we know Homo erectus were the ancestors who made and used those tools from this particular site. So going forward, obviously we need to really call upon different stakeholders and all of us to come together to support our government, to support the National Museums of Kenya in advancing and taking care and also promoting that unique heritage that this country has. There are many jobs that this sector can create, and I know we will work together. We will be able to tap on that heritage to create more jobs for our youth going forward.
Speaking during celebrations to mark the 100th anniversary of Kariandusi Prehistoric Site Museum in Gilgil Sub-County, Dr. Manthe noted that most museums in Europe and North America have for many years displayed physical cultural heritage from various regions of sub-Saharan Africa, which were taken from their owners by force, some of the items being taken from families, kingdoms, and communities.
Yes, there are some antiques, if you like, that were moved from this country. There has been efforts by different government departments and different government offices to really have those artifacts brought back to Kenya. And it's not just in Kenya alone. Across the African continent, there's been a big push for countries across Africa to have artifacts that were looted, if you like, from those countries by the colonial masters and powers, brought back to Africa. So Kenya is also involved in those discussions in trying to have those artifacts and those collections brought back to Kenya and to Africa as a whole. We don't really have the accurate numbers, and as an institution, NMK being the custodian of Kenya's heritage, we are taking stock. We are engaging different partners, different stakeholders in trying to really take good stock of those collections.
Dr. Elizabeth Walla, an archaeologist, noted that while the Kariandusi Prehistoric Site Museum has been a source of knowledge on early humans, the number of visitors touring the site has been low, a move which has also seen a raft of initiatives in place to boost the numbers.
Encouraging people to cherish, to visit national museums, to support them, and also to help in conservation of this heritage, because it's about when we learn about our past, we prepare for the future. So how did early man live? How did they use the things or the tools that they had? And for us in this era of technology, how are we using these tools towards preserve?
Dr. Walla said that the discovery of burial site dating to around 78,000 near the coastal region shows early Homo sapiens lived in different parts of what is now Kenya, contradicting a long-standing narrative that suggested that early humans only settled in the Great Rift Valley, further west from the coastal area.
Most people find museums as places where children go to, so they don't see themselves as adults that they would want to come and visit. I want to encourage you that museums are more than just exhibitions. There's so much work that they're doing, so I'm encouraging you wherever you go. I think there are over 140 museums and prehistoric sites around the country. I'm encouraging you to go and visit the one that's nearest to you. The other challenge that I find is that we do not showcase these museums as well as we should. So we want to support the National Museums of Kenya towards publicizing what they're doing, towards encouraging more visitors to come. And the third one is, as Kenyans, we don't take pride in our culture and heritage. So when you visit other countries, you'd find that they really, really cherish where they came from.
Professor of Archaeology and Evolution at University of Liverpool, John Goldsmith, said that the Prehistoric Museum has since been his archaeological research area and reference point for prehistoric investigations, also noting that the site is part of patches of archaeological sites that makes Kenya, and especially the Rift Valley, a hotbed of archaeological discoveries.
We're really lucky that you have these very early sites, and it's just wonderful that they can be investigated and that the country takes in its education a perspective, a deep perspective for everyone of what humanity is. It's wonderful that you do this, because so many other countries just look at a little bit of the past. They don't have the early sites. Kenya is one of the places where you bring all this together, and yes, I say, it's partly why I love Kenya and keep wanting to come back, because it's so good that all this is taking place.
They now want the government, together with other stakeholders, to intervene and help boost the museum's economy. Nicole Manthe for Ebru TV.
Obsidian, unaona hii black. It is called, ilikuwa inatumika na watu zamani kuchinja mnyama.